You are now tuned into Super Soft Radio. My name is Tasha. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we are going to talk about the Monaco Grand Prix. And today, specifically, we're going to get into it, Ricky. I hope that man can fight. Because when I find him and I lay my hands on him, it's a wrap. How is it that every single weekend, my guy Ricky is like the main character leaving the weekend? Like, he's all anybody's talking about. How bad he is at his job is the main topic, no matter where you go on the internet right now. Everybody is finally coming around to the fact that, hey, Lewis is actually not doing that bad. And hey, he deserves to have a race engineer who's better at communicating with him. Do you know how many planets have to be in alignment for Verstappen fans to be basically like, hey, I'm not his fan, but I feel bad that he has to deal with this guy. That's the territory that we are in when it comes to Ricky. And I personally feel like everybody should be given a chance. I don't like seeing people, have 2 business days to be good at something before they get replaced. But I feel like the issue with Ricky is that this is not his first rodeo. So when you see Sainz fans or even Vettel fans talk about their experiences with this guy over the radio with their drivers over multiple seasons, it's like, when is enough going to be enough with Ricky? We don't have all the damn time in the world, first of all. And even if retirement wasn't on the horizon for Hamilton, just based off of the whole project that Ferrari has going on where they're allegedly trying to change the culture at that company, even just from that point of view, why is he still there? Why is he not been moved to another position or just let go? Is that harsh? Yeah, but in a sport like this where it's high pressure, high stakes, and very fucking expensive, we do not have time for this. Piss or get off the pot. That is the situation with Ricky. So again, we come into Monaco pretty much expecting to be disappointed, to be quite honest. And instead, surprisingly, the car is good. Leclerc tops all 3 practice sessions. He's damn near on pole. Lewis manages to get P4, which is his highest position in a Grand Prix. Obviously, he got the sprint pole, but for a Grand Prix, this is his highest ever position. But that didn't matter because in Q1, we impeded Max based off of really, really unfortunate communication mishap with Ricky, where he tells Lewis that, Max is behind him, but he's on a slow lap. But, surprise, surprise, that was incorrect. And so, yeah, we got hit with an impeding penalty, which was 3 places. So we got dropped to P7, which it's Monaco. That is, you might as well start in France. You know what I'm saying? That's the ball game right there. If you don't qualify high, then you're just sightseeing for 78 laps. And so that's pretty much the situation. And it's that was bad. That was very frustrating. Because as usual, with us Lewis fans, we know it's we're always in this state of waiting for something good to happen. Right? Finally, we get a really good position in quali after all of this waiting. And then the universe said, psych, bitch, and took that and put us back in the midfield, right? So that's, I feel the biggest frustration is I feel whenever we start to make any headway, any step forward, we always get knocked back. And a lot of the times it's stuff that has nothing to do with us. It wasn't Lewis's fault. So he was pissed over the radio about that because he's come on, guys, you guys, you can't get this type of stuff wrong at Monaco of all places. This is not the track where you guys aren't sure about something. Like if a driver behind Lewis is on a push lap or not. Like be very sure. Like what the hell is happening on this pit wall? Like what is going on? So yeah, Saturday was just very frustrating. But again, it's like you got to take it on the chin, right? Like it just essentially it is what it is. It was nice while it lasted, but we're P7. That's the reality. But then the race happens. And me, like if it was me and I did something at my job, if I made a mistake like that at my job, you can bet damn sure that the next time that I have to perform, I'm going to lock the hell in. Because you're not going to catch me slipping twice. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, there needs to be some kind of urgency to that. Like, okay, you messed up. It shouldn't happen, but it did. And that's reality. But you need to make sure that for the next time you're locked in. So why is it that on race day, Lewis is once again begging for information, coaching Ricky on how to give him said information when he gets it? Why is he being met with silence at certain points? Like, is this not alarming to anybody who works at Ferrari? Like, what is happening? This should not be the case. Like, we should not be able to see on TV, like, yeah, the man's 45 seconds behind the people ahead of him. Like, I could have called Lewis in his car and given him that information faster than Ricky did. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is stuff that it just like, I don't understand why it takes so long to get, responses to pretty much black and white questions. Hey, am I a minute behind? Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know if it's because is Ricky good at other aspects of being a race engineer that they just keep him on? I don't know. Like, maybe he's, I don't know, like really great at it on other aspects of it. Like filing reports or something. I don't fucking know. But like put somebody else on the radio who can just give information in a concise, clear manner. That is it. Like that's literally all that Lewis is asking for. I'm like at a loss. Like, is it that he can't do this or that he won't do it? Because this is getting ridiculous. And at a certain point, it does fall on the leadership of the team, of Ferrari, to like kind of nip this shit in the bud. Like, again, if Project Ferrari is in full swing to change the team, to change the like culture of the team, thank you for your service, but we need to find a new candidate. Like that, I mean, I'm trying to maybe simplify it, but I just really do feel like you guys are like dragging your feet on something that you know needs to happen. And because this is not his first season doing this, it shouldn't even be a hard decision to make. He's had, 15 years at this team? That's enough time. That's enough time to get good at your job, I think. And it would be more than fair if they were like, listen, it's just not working out. No hard feelings. It's just not working out. Because again, especially on Lewis's end of things, he does not have all the damn time in the world to be waiting for somebody to get good at their jobs. He's been there. Ricky should know Ferrari like the back of his damn hand. Right? He should be the person really helping guide Lewis in this moment. Why is Lewis at the end of this race like, oh yeah, I just felt alone? Like, come the hell on. To me, it's just like very baffling. I'm sorry. Like, it's just very baffling. I don't know. I'm at a loss because I'm like, how much longer do we have to go through this every weekend? And in a race like this, I think Lewis saying like, oh, I felt alone was kind of like a double entendre, if you will, because, he had Verstappen like a minute ahead, and then he had Isaac like a minute behind. So he really was like in no man's land. And then he had Ricky not talking to him on the radio. But do you know what I mean? Like, this just should not be happening. I don't know. Like, it just, like, if anybody should be helping Lewis, it should be Ricky. It should be Ricky. And when Ricky's not doing what he needs to do, it needs to be Fred or the other higher ups. Somebody needs to make a very quick, decisive decision. Like, look, this is not working. And I also feel like, you know, obviously as annoyed or irritated as I am about this, like, this doesn't come from that place of like, you know, get rid of him because he's pissing me off. But it also is just like a realism thing. Not everything works. And like, that's okay. It's okay that it doesn't work. You guys gave it a chance. It's not working clearly. Move on. Like, the irritation it comes from because it's like you guys are dragging your feet. Best qualifying position in a track where qualifying is everything, from a guy who is, once again, still learning the ropes of the car and the entire team that's supposed to be supporting him. And he achieved something. And because the team is not on their shit, you know, the people who have been there for over a decade, he's punished. Fine. That's how it works. It's black and white. He's punished. It is what it is. But nobody has a sense of urgency of like, okay, well, what can we do now to support him in this race? How do we make it better for him? Like, that's just not making sense to me. And then, you know, in regard to the situation at the end of the race where Lewis is like, you know, he's like asking Ricky, like, hey, are you upset with me? First of all, it should be the other way around. If anybody should be upset, it should be Lewis. I don't even know why Ricky would be upset. But, you know, hearing Fred kind of try to make an excuse or explain it, I'm just like, I'd rather you just say nothing at all sometimes. I'm not going to lie. He said, actually, let me tell you what he said. So this is an F1 article. It says, Vasseur was swift to dispel any rumors of discord between the two. Quote, because when the driver is asking something between turn 1 and turn 3, we have to wait to the tunnel to reply, to avoid to speak with him during the corners. It's not that we were sleeping. It's not that we were having a beer on the pit wall. It's just because we have a section of the track where we agreed before not to speak to him. Okay. But what does that have to do with like everything else that happened in the race? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just very awkward, very glaring that something's not working. Something is not meshing between them. And then here's Fred being like, well, it's just because this is a rule at Ferrari. Like, we don't do this. But okay, when he's past that area, past those turns, to my knowledge, Ricky still didn't respond to him. Like, was he busy? Like, did he go to the bathroom? Like, what happened? Did he clock out early and go home? Like, like, what are we talking about here? Like, again, as always, I don't expect people who are professionals and who are leaders of a team to go out and negatively speak about people that they work with, especially in a situation like this, because it's very fragile. Everything feels very fragile. But you do have to think about how it looks to your driver when he's out in the media saying, listen, I felt alone. I did not feel like I had support. And then you, the team principal, come out and say, well, the reason he felt alone is because it's a rule at Ferrari that we don't speak during certain turns. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. You're explaining away like one instance, but you're not fully explaining why this relationship has not yielded any results. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just excuses. Because again, it's not changing. Even from like day to day, like I said, Saturday, big fuck up on Saturday. You should be doing everything in your power on Sunday to make it right. And that's not happening. And so now the question becomes, why is the team not working well together? And what are you going to do to fix it? Like, that's the reality. And like I said, it's this, you could just chalk 2025 up to like, listen, it's a learning experience, blah, 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 blah. But Ricky has been like this. He does not seem like he's going to be changing his ways anytime soon. Nip it in the bud. Because you also need to consider, if we do replace Ricky with somebody else, then that person and Lewis are going to need some time to mesh. Are we going to have to go through this again next year when inevitably we get a new race engineer? Now we got to spend another season working on communications. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just like a never ending carousel of like waiting for other people to get their shit together as Lewis is already in making progress. You know, like he's already making progress. Like I've seen people ask, like, you know, how is it that Lewis always does like so well in the sprint races? And it's like, one, they could drop the car lower. So, you know, it's in the optimal window for the Ferrari that it's supposed to be in. But two, he does not have to rely on the pit wall. He could just drive. And that's like, that says everything. That when those people don't interfere with him in a race, he's good. But this is a 78 lap race. You need your pit wall. You need your pit wall. You need your race engineer to be on it. And these people are just not on it. And I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. And I'm not willing to accept that, oh, this is the Ferrari culture, as in like, that's the excuse moving forward. The whole reason that Lewis is here is to help move this team into the fucking current century that we're in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, move them into where we're at and help them into the future. But I don't want it to be a situation where, you know, Lewis does make an impact, but it's the future drivers who get to benefit from it and not him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to spend 3 freaking years trying to train these guys on how to do their job better. Get them the hell out of there. Get new people in by any means necessary. And let's get the show on the road. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't accept that. I will be so pissed. I will be so pissed if they finally get their shit together and Lewis is long gone. Like, you know, I'm not having it. So Ricky needs to get his shit together. Fred needs to get his shit together. 2 strikes. That man has 2 strikes. I can't. Like, this team seems so tight at the beginning of the season, right? Like, oh, this is going to be a great season. Everything's going to be awesome because it's, you know, Fred and Lewis have already worked together. Charles and Lewis get along. You know, what else was there? Oh, right. A competent strategy team. Why didn't I think of that? Nobody thought to make sure that those people were hired or in place before the season started. So here we are. We are in hell. Anyway, let me know what you guys think they need to do with Ricky. Because yeah, you have my answer. If it was up to me, he'd be gone. He would be gone. We gave it a chance. We gave it a shot. And I do think it's commendable. And I know that every moment isn't like this, but it's the high pressure moments that are like this. And that's all that matters. Because when inevitably Lewis is in the lead of a real, like a GP, and our win is on the line, like, can we rely on Ricky to get us to the end? Like, that's really the issue, is like, he's not reliable. He's not reliable. And in a situation like this weekend, I just feel like it just says so much about problem solving on that team. And it's just alarming and baffling. And the fact that we at home can see stuff Like, why can't the pit wall at the race see it? Or what's happening? Like, what's the kink in the chain? Like, if it's not Ricky, who is it? Or what is it? Like, what's going on? But at the same time, there are very Ricky specific things that are the issue. And again, it just really is down to the communication style. Like that doesn't depend on other people. Lewis has been like, hey, tell me the data like this. And Ricky doesn't do it. So that is just very something specific to him. But like some of the stuff, I'm like, what's going on? So whatever. Let's just hope that, something's in the works to deal with that. Because again, I can't imagine having all the resources in the world, having the legacy that Ferrari has, and still choosing this. No, absolutely not. Get it together. But anyway, the rest of the race. My God. Yo, Monaco, we have to get rid of this race. I'm sorry. Like, I came into the weekend very open-minded about the changes that they made. I was actually really curious to see would this two-stop mandated two-stop shake things up a bit. Is this possibly something that could finally shake up Monaco? The answer is no. That race was so bad. There was zero on track overtakes. None. What a mess. What an absolute sham of a race. Waste of everybody's time. Waste of gas. Listen, I know a big reason why it's on the calendar is because, people who live there love it. All those rich people love being able to show off their yachts and be in the same place together at once. Listen, y'all are rich. You can kick it wherever. You have planes, automobiles, you have boats. You can just link up when you want. You know what I'm saying? A whole F1 race just for y'all to do that is not our problem. Because this is a mess. This is an absolute disaster. So shout out to Lando. I wrote in my notes, Lando strikes back. This win here at Monaco helped get him within 3 points of Piastri, who I feel hasn't been having a great couple of races, especially Monaco. He just did not seem comfortable. Practice, he was just flirting. The sexual tension between Oscar Piastri and those barriers was so heavy. So yeah, he definitely did not seem on it in Monaco. But Lando definitely did. He got pole. He set a new track record as well. Beating out Leclerc, who, if you use practice as any indication, Leclerc pretty much had it in the bag. But, he pulled a rabbit out of the hat and was able to do that. So shout out to him. However, that race start was, we were almost going to get a classic Lando Norris bottle, man. We were so close. I was looking forward to it, but, it just didn't happen. He recovered. Nothing really happened in the race, after that. So that would have been the most fun for me, but it did not happen. So shout out to Lando for beating the odds, beating the bottle odds. Leclerc got P2 in his home race. I know he was disappointed, but I'm listen, considering the way he was talking about the car and the situation before the weekend, the fact that he still was able to, qualify second and finish second, I'm listen, that's a win. That really is a win, because this season has been shit so far for Ferrari, and especially for Leclerc. I haven't really spoken a lot about Leclerc so far, but his demeanor all season has just been very, very down, since Australia, basically. And I get it, because I think he expected, the team and that car to be in a much better place. He's been dealing with their shit for many more seasons than we have. So I think he's finally just at the end of his rope with this team. And you can really see it in the way that like he kind of, his body language. He's just over it. He's over the car. He's over the team, everything. So yeah, I know he was disappointed with the P2, but I'm like, honestly, all things considered, not bad. Oscar, P3. As I said, he just I think that was probably like, the best he could do considering he did not look super comfortable this weekend at all. And this is what makes Lewis getting demoted to P7 so painful, because I do think that Lewis would have been able to pressure Oscar into making a mistake. Like, he was teetering on the edge all weekend. So was a Ferrari double podium on? I think so. I really do. And I think that's what makes the whole situation just suck that much more, because it's like, bro, we definitely could have been on podium. Because yeah, it was just Oscar in front of us, and it was possible. Shout out to Lewis, obviously, for recovering some positions. He started P7, we ended P5. We were able to successfully overcut Isaac, which really helped a lot. We were stuck behind both him and Alonso at the start of the race. So thankfully, we were able to, stay out a little bit longer and keep that position. And I mean, that's all you really can say about that. I mean, nothing really happened in the race. The pit crew was on it. The first stop was really good, 2.1 seconds. The second stop, I was like, what's going on here? I think they took a little bit of they took it easy. It was like 2.5 seconds, still fast, but still, like, come on, guys. Yeah, so I feel like that was at least good. Our pit crew was on it. Lewis was on it. So yeah, that was pretty decent considering, because we could have ended P7 and I still would have been pissed. So yeah, this is better than nothing. Also, shout out to Isaac, who ended in P6. I think it's his best result for the season so far. He's been on it as well. Ever since Anthony Hamilton gave him that hug at the beginning of the season, he's locked in. And I think that's all you can ask for. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just have to take it for what it is. And I think Isaac has been maximizing that Racing Bulls car. He's been pretty good in quali. He's been pretty good in races. Like, not bad at all. Mercedes? ? What the hell was happening with that strategy? Listen, I know their weekend basically was squandered with that shit quality that they were having. But my God, going that many laps, like over 60 laps without pitting, is actually insane. But also the fact that Pirelli gave them tires that could go that long without being forced to pit also is kind of an issue, but maybe that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, like, the Mercedes strategy, there was no strategy. That was the team that we left, thank God. Because if, like, imagine Lewis being in the Mercedes for this race, we would be livid right now. We'd be livid right now. When did they even pit Kimi? I can't even remember the lap. But he, bless him, he went like basically the whole race without a pit stop. And then they did like both of his pit stops, like at the very end, nick of time. So yeah, that was bad. And then of course you had, George cutting the chicane, gaining an advantage over Alex. He was just fed up with Alex's driving. And to be fair to George, I probably would have done the same thing. Because there just really isn't no way that I'm about to be in Monaco behind some person who keeps slamming on the brakes. Like, bitch, no, we're not doing that. So yeah, I mean, I feel like George did the right thing. He's like, you know what? If he's going to drive like that, I'm just going to take the penalty. I think where he fucked up is that he said that over the radio. He said, I'll just take the penalty, as if like it's deal or no deal or something. And I believe that typically the penalty for that is like 10 seconds. So I think he was like, whatever. But the stewards were like, bet. And they gave him a drive-through penalty. So that was fun. Was not expecting to see that. Somebody get a drive-through penalty. But yeah, they were like, let's make it hurt. And they did. But at the same time, like, they were already not getting any points. They were not getting any points. So how much did it actually hurt? You know what I mean? So yeah. The other thing I wrote in my notes though is like, why is that car getting so bad? That car is not good. The Mercedes PU in general is kind of shit at the moment. You had Alonso, his engine failure in this race as well. And then Kimi, the race before, bless him, in front of his classmates. That was nasty work. But yeah, so like, I know also last week George mentioned that the temperature was an issue. And I remember that being a big thing last season where it's like anytime it got hot, the Mercedes just decided it didn't want to function properly, which like not good considering that the global temperature is rising every single year. So yeah, I've been waiting for this because I know at a certain point at the beginning of the season, I was like, damn, did they really improve this car like just over the winter break? Like, you know what I mean? But I'm also just like, wait and see. Just wait. It's Mercedes. They don't have their shit together. And lo and behold, look who showed up to the party. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the car continues to perform in the like upcoming races. If it gets any hotter, I mean, I don't know if they're even going to be able to finish most of them at this point because them engines are not looking good so far. But yeah, the pace also is just really slow. So I don't know what they have going on over there. Not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem. But it is a little delicious seeing Lewis lap both cars in this race. So as usual, leaving here with something. Also something, well, nothing for him, but something for me. Is Fernando Alonso going to score points this season? Comment down below. I'm thinking probably not, because every single time he's in a position to score, something happens. The universe is saying, look, hang it up flat screen, like you're done. You're not getting any points this season. But yeah, I have been enjoying the crash outs over the radio. I cannot lie. Whatever's happening in that cockpit is very entertaining to me. The screaming. Baby, why are you screaming on the radio? Oh my God. Listen, very entertaining. The Racing Bulls, that strategy that created, I think, the worst Monaco ever that I've ever seen anyway. That strategy of Liam Lawson to back up the rest of the pack so that Isaac had a pit window. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? I think the thing is when we get these sort of like, rules, right? Like you have to pit twice and you're on a track where you can't really overtake. Obviously, people are going to start to come up with strategies to, get points and stay in the points, especially these midfield teams, right? Like Racing Bulls, this was their opportunity to get both cars in the points finally. And it worked. The strategy worked for them. Then Williams, the same exact shit. And that's when, like I said, all hell kind of broke loose. George was like, I'm not doing this. And decided to cut the chicane. And, that was worth it for him to get that penalty. But you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It just made for really boring racing, even more so than usual. Like everybody going so slow. Oh my God. And then of course, everybody pits and then they do the same thing for the next one. Like, slow everybody down so that you can pit. I hated it. I hated like every moment of it. I also hated that, was it Vowels who's like, oh, this is not how we want to go racing. And it's like, okay, so then don't. You know what I mean? Like, I think Alex was on the radio complaining about how like unfair it was or whatever that George got the advantage. And I'm just like, bro, you are slowing everybody down so much. Of course, people behind you are going to try to do whatever to get around you. The call is coming from inside the house. You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect? If everybody's going to start just trying to find loopholes to get through this race and to maximize their positions in this race, eventually it is going to come down to, I'll just take the penalty. You know what I mean? So like, I definitely I don't see how they can make this race more interesting. Obviously, like I think Martin Brundle kind of talked about maybe they implement a specific pit window. I've seen people talk about changing parts of the track, like widening certain turns or changing out the chicane after the tunnel. Like it's just like not our jobs, right? Like I know that we always like, it's always going to be a discussion of like how we can make things better. But it just feels like we're all trying to like huddle up and put our heads together to save a race that just needs to be cut. At the end of the day, it's just cut it. It's a beautiful track. Like I actually love the scenery. I love how close and tight everything is. I love seeing the, marina, all that. It's gorgeous. But if we had the size cars that we had in the past and they were able to overtake each other, it would be even better. But it's like we gotta get out of this like loop of like keeping stuff in F1 for nostalgia reasons. If it worked in the past, that's fine. That's great. But it doesn't work now. So can we please move on? Like again, why are we holding on to something? You know what I mean? Like we holding on to them same 3 strands of hair, baby, let it go. Let it go. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing. Like it's just, it does not work. No matter how much we want to huddle together. Like, come on now. Everybody has to pit within 20 laps. Everybody has to do this. We need to move this chicane, this many meter. Like, enough. The only thing that's going to make this better is if the cars get smaller, and they're not getting smaller anytime sooner. So, like that's really the issue is like, we're trying to just make something happen that just doesn't want to happen. And I really do think we need to just kind of come to the conclusion that this needs to go. Qualifying is the only interesting part of this weekend. And even then, it's kind of a mess because of how much traffic that there is. And, even I've seen people be like, oh, well, let's split it into, heats and stuff. It's just like, yes. All this could work in theory, but it's Formula One. And at the end of the day, the issue becomes every time they try to make something better, the drivers and the teams find a way to act up exactly like they did this time. Like, yeah, sure, we'll do 2 pit stops. We're just going to back everybody up 20 seconds in order to make it happen. So only 2 teams really benefited from that, and everybody else got absolutely murdered. And yeah, that's what that was Monaco. So it was just like such a painful race to watch. I'm not even going to lie. Like it was just so boring. Like there was no strategy worked. There was no overtakes. I mean, Leclerc was in Norris's DRS for like several laps. Like he was right there, and there was just no place for him to safely make that overtake to get it done. You know what I mean? So it's like, why are we doing this to ourselves? And then of course, it's like Imola, that was the last time we'll be at Imola. Maybe we'll see if they actually really take it off the calendar, but that was actually a good race. It actually ended up being a good race, a decent race anyway. But it's like we're taking all of those types of tracks off the calendar and leaving Monaco. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just nuts. I don't know. I've seen people be like, oh, we can also make it into like an exhibition weekend. It's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Like, at all. Like, there's nothing to exhibit. What's exhibited at this track is that we just need to move on. It needs to be left in the past. It is a beautiful city, beautiful track. Like that, it's undeniable how. Like, I actually wish there were more tracks that looked like Monaco, that had more of that type of scenery. Like, being in a parking lot in Miami is not exactly like when I think of F1, I don't think about that type of stuff. I think about tracks like Monaco, right? Like that, from that aspect, it's gorge. Like I do wish we had more tracks that look like that. I even like the tightness of it. But again, it's just the fact that like there's not even one area where they could make overtakes. And if it doesn't rain, then forget about it. Forget about it, So yeah, for all those reasons, I'm out. I'm out. I gave it a shot. I was like, I'm so interested to see how this two-stop would work. It did not work. I guess we'll see what they cook up for next year. Maybe we will see pit windows, whatever. But I think something drastic has to happen in order for it to be interesting. And like I said, I think it's the cars, the size of the cars. And so if they're not going to make them smaller anytime soon, then I don't think we can expect Monaco to be interesting anytime soon. So it is what it is. But anyway, I digress. Next up, we are going to Barcelona. I honestly don't know what to expect there. As I said, coming into this weekend, I had no expectations, and we actually did a lot better than that. So at this point, I just feel like Ferrari's kind of in there, don't let them know your next move type of era. I don't know what to expect from this team. So we'll see. But what I do see from us is that we're right in the mix in terms of constructor. This is a big credit to both Lewis and Charles, despite everything going on with the car and the team. They both have been getting points as much as possible, right? So we are 1 point behind Red Bull in the constructor, and we're 4 points behind Mercedes. So yeah, we're in the mix. We can potentially make this happen. I do know, like, obviously Kimi DNFing in the last race. Did Yuki? I think Yuki didn't finish that race either. So yeah, I mean, obviously it helps that both of those teams have a weaker driver who did not finish a race. But hey, the game is the game. This is what we needed. We needed to get back in the game. So at least in that aspect, in the constructor side of things, we can achieve a P2, and I think it's possible. So I am looking forward to that. But again, it is Ferrari. So, they might find a really unique, creative way to disappoint me when something like that is so within our reach. So damn, now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, what could actually happen that would make that not happen anytime soon? But, trying to be positive, we are at least in the mix. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens in Barcelona. I am looking forward to this being the last race in our triple header, because I just want to rest. I'm so tired right now of this sport. Like, I don't know. And honestly, actually, I didn't mention this earlier, but I am a little pissed off about the way that Lewis's penalty came down, like, after quali. Like, if it happened in Q1, why are we like going? It was like a couple of hours after quali, even at that we got the decision for Lewis's penalty. Like, what is happening with this sport? And when it comes to Lewis, like, I know other drivers, like Lance also got a penalty like after quali. But I just feel like if it happens, especially in Q1, like, what is taking so long? If it's like a black and white thing, like he impeded Max and it's black and white, why does it require 4 hours to come to a decision? But when it comes to Lewis, I also it's hard as his fan knowing, because he's always penalized really hard. It feels like really harsh, right? Especially like when it's like, again, somebody like Max, who, as much as he says that they're like, the FIA are like after him, how many times has he impeded people this season? And how many penalties has he gotten for impeding people this season? And then Lewis does it, and they throw the fucking book at his ass in Monaco, of all places. And like, that shit killed me. Because it's like, it is Lewis. So it's like, he's going to get penalties. Just rip the Band-Aid off. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of thing. But yeah, I hated that. You're going to give the man a penalty. Just give him the damn penalty. Whatever. Moving on. That is it for me this week. I feel like my brain is melting. I don't know if I even properly have conveyed how annoyed I truly am with everything and everyone in this sport. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a little teeny tiny break before we get into the next leg of the season. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know your thoughts on the Monaco Grand Prix. Like, one, how did you enjoy the race? Did you enjoy the race? Two, what would you do to improve it? Or would you just nix it altogether? And three, have a good night. Thank you again for tuning in. I will talk to you guys after Barcelona. Bye. You are now tuned into Super Soft Radio. My name is Tasha. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is the Monaco Grand Prix. All right, so before I go, let's talk fantasy. I did not check my results yet. So you and me are going to, in real time, see what happened. I did not know how to, I did not know how to strategize this week. I was just like looking at the constructors. I was looking at the drivers and I'm just like, I don't want any of these motherfuckers on my team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want anybody on my team. So, okay, not bad. Okay, work. We have 115 points this week. Who cost me points? Nico Hulkenberg, 2 points. Nice. Okay. Oh, I did put I did put Racing Bulls as one of my constructors, so that actually was a good haul of points, 23 points for me there. I was gonna put Mercedes. Could you fucking believe? Could you believe? I would have been so mad. The ancestors kicked in and were like, girl, be fucking for real. Did not put them people on your team. And I corrected it. Ooh, my second fantasy team cooked in Monaco, 155. It's the team that's never in a league. It's just, just kind of like loosey-goosey over there. The crazy thing is I actually didn't even change anything on that team. So that's the funniest part of all. That team has 155 points for this weekend. Not bad. So overall, I'm not going to lie. I didn't do terribly because, as I said earlier, I really had no idea, like, really how to do anything. Like, I felt like I just kind of needed a fresh start altogether, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. Even Kick Sauber got me points. Like, what? I'll do it. I'll be Lewis's race engineer. I'm like, bitch, put your foot on the gas. We gotta go. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that Ricky has Lewis so fucking stressed that he had to be with 3 different girls this weekend in Monaco, like, just something to take the edge off. Like, this is getting great. Like, the old Hamilton, I did say that we need the old Hamilton to lock in. He's back to his old ways. Did it hurt seeing my husband out in public with other women? Yeah, it did. Come home, the kids miss you. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the weekend he had, I get it. I get it. I get it. Now, well, let me just... it's so crazy in hindsight thinking like they spent so much time mulling over, like, what are we going to say for hammer time on this team? We have not had one hammer time situation in this team. We're not going to get it with this attitude either. Like, Lewis will be fucking 48 seconds behind everybody and Ricky goes hammer time. Like, it's not hammer time, Ricky. It's definitely not hammer time. It's nap time. We are so far behind. He could literally stop and take a nap. Mwah. We out this bitch. Thank you so much for watching that episode. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can see all my future uploads. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you guys very soon for Spain.